Hello everyone. Welcome back to Prayer Network. Today, we will explore a fascinating topic: why are angels personified with human bodies? Perhaps you have wondered why we see these celestial beings represented as humans instead of some abstract or different figure. In this video, we will conduct a deep analysis of the origins, representation, and perception of angels in culture and religion. The representation of angels as human figures is not just an artistic choice, it is supported by theological, cultural, and psychological reasons that have evolved over the centuries. Throughout this video, we will break down the rich history and doctrines that underlie this representation. First, let's understand one of the most fundamental reasons: the symbolism of the messenger. The word angel comes from the Greek angelos, which means messenger. This indicates that their primary function is to communicate God's messages to humans. Representing them as human beings facilitates this understanding. Have you ever felt more at ease receiving a message from someone who presents themselves in a familiar and accessible way? It's like receiving advice from a close friend. With this representation, the divine message becomes tangible and relevant, creating an emotional connection with the viewer. Continuing on, let's talk about the relationship with humanity. Although angels are spiritual beings, they possess characteristics typical of humans, such as memory, intelligence, and free will. When represented in human form, a closer bond is established between them and us, highlighting their role as guardians and guides. This connection is reflected in biblical stories, where angels interact with figures like Abraham and Lot. Isn't it comforting to think that there are beings who, despite being on a spiritual plane, share characteristics that reflect our own struggles and joys? Visual representations are key to understanding abstract concepts. Depicting angels as human makes them more accessible and comprehensible for believers. Imagine an angel with wings and an ethereal figure that might be confusing or even intimidating. However, when you see an angel in human form, you can imagine it speaking directly to you. This capacity for representation facilitates identification and generates empathy. Let's look at some biblical examples. In the Bible, we find numerous passages where angels appear in human form, such as during the visits to Abraham. These interactions not only validate the practice of depicting them as human but also underline their divine purpose. These visions of angels in human form serve as reminders that heaven and earth are interconnected and that the divine often manifests in our everyday reality. Culture and tradition over the centuries have also shaped this iconography. From the medieval era to the present, the representation of angels has been influenced by art and literature. In the Middle Ages, for example, they were seen as ethereal figures. However, with the Renaissance, artists began to give angels a more human appearance, reflecting changes in the perception of divinity. This cultural adaptation ensures that the image of angels remains relevant and accessible across generations. Angels are not just messengers, they are also mediators between God and humanity. Their human representation emphasizes this role as intercessors. The idea that these beings can act as links between the celestial and the earthly helps us understand better how our spiritual connections are facilitated. This resonates in popular culture, where angels are often depicted as personal guides that help us on our journey. The emotional connection with angels is another significant reason for portraying them as human. Seeing an angel in human form can evoke feelings of closeness and support. When we face difficult moments, the image of a gentle and understanding angel can provide us comfort. This representation allows people to identify with angels, making for a more intimate and emotional relationship. Angels are frequently viewed as models of virtue. They represent goodness, innocence, and divine love. When portrayed with human appearance, they are attributed an exemplary morality worthy of emulation. This reveals one of the key functions of angels in religious thought, to inspire the faithful to pursue a path of goodness and virtues. Cultural continuity in the representation of angels also plays a vital role. Throughout art and literature, their representations have been consistent over the years. This means that the image of angels we have today is the result of centuries of interpretation and cultural adaptation. The consistency of their descriptions allows religious messages to remain accessible and relevant over time. Lastly, the influence of literature and art has been crucial in shaping contemporary perceptions of angels. Literary works, as well as religious paintings, have shaped how we imagine these celestial entities. From the angels depicted by Renaissance artists to modern representations in popular culture, we see how each era has contributed new dimensions to these figures. This highlights the versatility and dynamics of angel interpretations in cultural imagery. In summary, the personification of angels in human form is due to several relevant reasons: their role as messengers, the establishment of a close relationship with humanity, the ease of visual understanding, and their function as mediators. These elements combine to create an image of angels that is both accessible and profoundly spiritual. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the fascinating world of spirituality and religion, please subscribe, leave your comments, and share this video with your friends. We would love to hear your thoughts. Do you have any stories about an encounter with an angel? That would be a great topic for discussion we can explore together. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, every time you look up at the sky, there might be an angel looking back at you. Until next time.